Let's be honest, when you hear the word trading, you probably picture a crazy mess of charts and blinking numbers, right? It can feel super overwhelming. But what if I told you there's actually a clear, learnable path through all that chaos? Well, today, we're handing you the map. Let's dive in. Okay, first things first, we gotta tackle the biggest myth right out of the gate. Is trading just a fancy casino? It's a totally fair question, because honestly, if you don't have a plan, it absolutely is. But the key difference in what we're going to focus on today is shifting from random guessing to building a real skill. And that right there is the core idea. This is what separates traders from gamblers. We're not talking about a crystal ball or predicting the future. It's all about making educated decisions based on the information you have. It's about having a process, not just a lucky hunch. So, to build that skill, you're going to need the right tools. Think of this next part as your basic training. We're going to get you geared up with the essentials, showing you the arenas where you'll trade and the tools you'll use to analyze them.
And you've got plenty of options for where to trade. You can trade stocks, which are basically tiny pieces of companies you know. There's Forex, which is the massive global market for currencies. Of course, you've got the wild world of crypto, like Bitcoin. Even things like gold and oil, called commodities. Or you can trade an entire slice of the market, like the S&P 500. Each one is a totally unique playground with its own personality.
Okay, so you've picked a playground. Now what? How do you actually decide when to buy or sell? Well, you definitely don't just guess. You analyze. And traders pretty much use two main schools of thought to figure this out. Think of it like this. Technical analysis is all about being a chart detective. You're looking at past price movements for clues and patterns to predict what might happen next. On the other hand, fundamental analysis is more like being an investigative reporter. You're digging into economic news, company reports, that kind of stuff to figure out what something is really worth. Most successful traders, by the way, end up using a mix of both. This is a big one. You gotta find a style that actually fits your personality and your schedule. Are you a sprinter, jumping in and out of trades in just a few minutes? That's called scalping. Or maybe you're more of a marathon runner, holding a position for months or years. That's position trading. For beginners, though, there's a real sweet spot, swing trading. It gives you enough time to breathe, think, and analyze without the crazy pressure of watching every single tick.
All right, now we get to what is, without a doubt, the most important part of this whole thing. Seriously, if you walk away with only two things today, make it these two golden rules. They are the absolute foundation of everything.
1%. This number is your most important rule, period. It means you never, ever risk more than 1% of your entire trading account on a single trade. So if you have $1,000, the most you can lose on one idea is $10. Think about that. You'd have to be wrong 100 times in a row to lose everything. This isn't about being scared, it's about being smart. It's what keeps you in the game long enough to actually succeed. This quote just nails the mindset of a professional. See, your number one job isn't to make money. It's to protect the money you already have. Profit is just a byproduct of doing that really, really well. It's like in sports. You can't score points if you're not on the field. Good risk control is what keeps you on the field. So once you've learned to protect your money from the market, you have to learn how to protect it from yourself. The market is just numbers and charts, but the way you react to them can be hijacked by some very powerful and very expensive emotions. So let's meet the villains of our story. You've got fear, which will tell you to bail on a good trade way too early. You've got greed, which will trick you into holding a loser for way too long. Impatience will shove you into trades that aren't ready. And a lack of discipline, well, that just lets the other three run wild. The real battle in trading isn't with the market, it's with the person in the mirror.
Okay, so you get the playing field, the tools, and the all-important golden rules. So now what? Let's put it all together into a real, actionable plan. This is your step-by-step guide for making your first trades the right way.
Step 1, keep it simple. Stick to big, popular markets like the major currencies or Bitcoin. Why? Because they're predictable and have a ton of action. Step 2, zoom out. Use higher time frames like the 4-hour or daily charts. This helps you tune out all the crazy minute-to-minute noise and see the bigger, clearer picture. Next up, your strategy is super simple. Don't fight the market. If the trend is going up, you're looking to buy. You'll use key price levels, think of them as floors and ceilings, to time your entries. And here's the crucial part. You need a clear, specific reason to get into a trade. No gut feelings, ever. And look at that, we're tying it right back to our golden rules. You risk 1%. That's it. And for every dollar you risk, you aim to make at least 2. That's a 1-to-2 risk-reward ratio, and it mathematically puts the odds in your favor over time. And finally, the psychology rule. You take a loss, you walk away. No revenge trading to try and win it back, you just stick to the plan.
So here it is. This is basically your whole business plan on one slide. And these aren't suggestions, These are your rules. This plan is what stands between you and a bad emotional decision. It's your blueprint for discipline.
And that really is the main takeaway here. You can have the most perfect plan in the world, but it's totally useless if you don't have the discipline to actually follow it, day in, day out. The map shows you the destination, but it's your discipline that actually fuels the car to get you there.
So we end on this thought. You have the knowledge. You have a concrete plan. The real test isn't going to be reading a chart. The real test is mastering your own impulses. So the question isn't whether the plan works. The question is whether you have the discipline to work the plan. Your journey starts now. Are you ready to take that first step?